it was like the world is going to end tomorrow, therefore we have to live for the moment. In 2022, we rang 1,000% more ambulances than we had. That's something. Remember, you're getting married, not your parents, not your friends, nobody else. It's your day. And whilst, of course, you want everybody to enjoy your wedding day, half of it will be that if you're enjoying it, they'll be enjoying it. The key to a good wedding is in the food and entertainment. So if there's good food, enough to drink, and great entertainment, that's it.
Today, I'm joined by Tara Chapman, founder of We Do Unique Weddings, one of the leading wedding planners on the Costa. She specializes in creating personalized, design-driven destination weddings for couples from all over Europe. We're talking about why Sotogrande is becoming a wedding hotspot and what really goes into planning a celebration under the Andalusian sun. Tara, you're very welcome.
Lovely to be here.
I've been wanting to have you on for such a long time. My daughter said, Daddy, can you please get Tara on? Because, of course, you did my daughter's wedding.
I did.
Yeah.
2023, I believe.
I'm a grandpa now.
I know. That's wonderful.
Yes. So it worked.
They consummated the marriage. This is a good thing, yes.
Clearly. Before we get into all the detail of what you do, which is obviously weddings and that sort of thing, tell us a little bit about your journey. How did you end up here in Sotogrande? You've been here a long time, whatever.
So my parents met here in 1970, a bit further down the coast. But
Right.
they met here, got together, decided to bring a family into the world. And I was born in England, but when I was a month old, I came straight back to Spain, and I've been here practically ever since. I went to school in SIS just up the hill here, when it was the original Sotogrande school, and I was a boarder. So my parents lived behind Marbella up in the hills, so I would trundle back every Friday and back here every Monday.
Oh, wow. And they had a boarding school?
Yes, for 35 students, I think, was the maximum we ever reached, from the ages of 6 to 16. When they were just doing GCSEs.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah.
I thought the boarding thing was something relatively new.
No, and it was great. It was like a little family, and a lot of the teachers lived on site as well.
And the school was just here in Paniagua.
Just above, the big derelict building up the hill.
Yes.
That I'm really hoping somebody does something with soon.
I think I know what's happening there.
Really?
I'll tell you.
Tell me later. And it was great. There were 300 pupils there. So it was a lovely little school back then. And Midas was there, K-Bar was there, and that's about it. And Valderrama and the stables. I think not much else. And then I left for a few years to go to art school in London, went traveling around the world for a year, and then came back and I took over my mum's TV production business.
Oh.
So she started that in 1985, and it was hugely successful.
Where was she based? I see up the coast.
She was up the coast, yeah. And they mainly did advertising. So all the Pepsi commercials with Beckham and all of these footballers, we did those. All the big Mercedes campaigns, anything that was shot in Spain that was kind of a good budget.
And was the agency a sort of Madrid or Barcelona agency, or was it a London agency?
No, they were all over the world.
All over.
So we had people coming from LA, from London, from Paris, from Berlin, from everywhere coming to film in Spain, because the light is amazing here. So
Spaghetti westerns are done here, aren't they?
Exactly, yeah.
Maria somewhere.
We did actually do a Pepsi commercial down there.
Yeah.
So I did that for about 11 years. And then decided I wanted to have a family of my own, and I didn't want to be living out of a suitcase, not seeing the important things in your child's life. And then I took a year out. So I'm just going to take a break. And so I took a year out, and about the end of that, a friend of mine approached me. We were living in Tarifa at that point. My parents have a house down there, and we were living there. And a friend approached me and said, I have an event business that's booming. I need help. I've just taken a big contract in Gibraltar. Would you like to come and help? And I was like, I don't know anything about weddings. And she was like, it's like production. You'll be fine.
Was it weddings or events?
Events.
Events.
So we did the International Chess Festival in Gibraltar. We did a lot of gaming company Christmas parties and summer parties. A lot of weddings.
When was this, more or less?
2008 to 2010.
Yeah.
And then I was there for 2 years in and out of Gib and working in Tarifa as well. And I loved it because it's like production, but with happy days kind of thing. No stress. Well, not mine anyway. And then I decided to start doing my own thing after that. So I started off small, just in Tarifa. Then a company in Marbella approached me to start doing any weddings they wanted to do in Tarifa. And then they asked me if I could move to Marbella because they were very busy. So I sort of thought, actually, good idea. Leo needs a good school and so forth. So moved up the coast and worked for them for a good 6 years. And it was very busy. So we were doing sort of 70 weddings a year there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I would say I learnt every little piece of the business, and then decided to set up my own company in 2017.
So your apprenticeship was from filmmaking to working for someone in events, then going off to Marbella, doing something bigger.
Yeah.
And then with all this experience,
I decided
put
it
up
was
your own
time.
flag and
Well, actually, quite a few other people decided it was time too. They all said to me, "Come on, you need to get out there and do it." So I set up We Do Unique Weddings, and the first...
I was going to ask you, what does We Do Unique Weddings, what is it? What's unique about them?
So we like to... Basically, there's bespoke weddings, but a lot of bespoke weddings, they still use their same photographer, the same florist. They have their packages. We wanted to kind of create a second wedding almost between the suppliers and the couples. So every couple's different. Everybody has different budgets, different tastes, different everything, and personalities. And so not everybody fits that couple. And so we like to work with a lot of different suppliers. I'm probably one of the only ones that actually is not just working with a set amount of suppliers. I like to work with everybody and pick and mix, work out who's going to be right for that couple, who's going to basically execute the best day of their lives. So you need to bring a good team that works for them. So that's why it's We Do Unique. And then obviously there's the play on We Do.
So there's a little bit of understanding the couple, the personalities, whether they like, I don't know, a certain photographer who will do a certain wacky sort of thing because they're a wacky sort of couple, or a more serious couple who wants more traditional, long coats. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. We don't generally, a few, but not many hotel weddings because we tend to work more in fincas and cortijos where we can do what we want, basically. If we want to build a venue, we can build a venue.
That's why it becomes unique, bespoke.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so it really is kind of from the building, from the ground up that we create a wedding. We do 25 weddings a year. Because it's kind of, I like to keep the team small. I like to be able to have a personal sort of relationship with my couples, be able to spend time talking to them, getting to know them, and enjoy the process as much as they do, or try to at least.
Well, work is fun then.
That's exactly,
wonderful.
Exactly. Yeah. Obviously, 2020 was not a good year for anybody. We weren't able to do any weddings, and COVID came along and knocked everything out of the water. And I remember sending a newsletter out to my couples from that year, like, we've been told to sort of lock down for a couple of weeks, so we'll be back on track in 2 weeks and we'll start everything up again. And 2 weeks later, it's, another 2 weeks and so forth, until we then had to cancel all the weddings that we had and move them to the following year. I think we probably lost 2 in that first year that they just either had lost their jobs so they couldn't continue, or they decided that they had somebody who was too delicate to travel.
Or were in lockdown together and decided it wasn't a good idea to be married.
Certainly there were some countries that couldn't move at all, so...
But the couple in lockdown decided maybe we shouldn't get married.
No, I only had a couple of those as well. But they were 2021, poor loves. But so the next couple of years were tough. And it culminated in 2021. We still did 24 weddings, even with all the sort of restrictions. And then 2022, we did 66 weddings.
The pent-up demand,
Yeah.
like in the real estate business,
It was
suddenly
crazy.
no one bought, and then the whole thing went mad.
Yeah. And everyone was like, yeah, but they went well, so you can carry on doing 66 weddings. And I said, no, I don't.
Well,
I don't need to do that many. So that's kind of how we do unique weddings has come about.
Yeah.
We do a lot in Sotogrande, which is great. So I love doing weddings.
Up and down the
close
coast
to
as well,
home.
presumably? Or
A lot in Marbella.
Yeah.
Marbella is super popular because it's a very cosmopolitan kind of place. You know, they can do lots of things in the days leading up to the weddings and so forth. But Soto is slowly picking up.
What really attracts people to Soto? I mean, Sotogrande as opposed to the rest of the Costa, are the couples the sort of couple that would buy in Sotogrande as opposed to a couple that may want to buy a house in Marbella? Because I always say, you know, the people here with money could buy in Marbella, but they choose Sotogrande. And that's a different psychographic group of people, you know, so I just wonder whether it's...
So we have a mix of clients that want to get married in Sotogrande. There are people who have never heard of Sotogrande before, and we send them a list of venues to look at, and they then choose to come and view them, fall in love with them. And then they bring 150 new people to Sotogrande who introduce it to them. And then we have the ones who perhaps grew up here, you know, and so they have it in their hearts and they really want to get married where they grew up. And then we have people who have houses here, who may not be able to do the wedding in their garden, some do, but they may want to do their pre-wedding or their post-wedding at home. Or, you know, so we have that kind of mix as well.
Because that also adds, when you're not having your wedding maybe in your country of origin, your guests are also coming out, and you can't just say, come along Saturday afternoon for the church service, and then the wedding. They come before then, this day after. So you have to have almost 3 events, as I learned. As my wallet learned.
Yes, exactly. I know.
A pre-wedding, the wedding, and the after-wedding. You know, it's
the number of parents who say to me, "Oh, we just got married in the pub. It was nothing like this." It's grown a lot. It's a big business now, weddings, and so yes, it'll be a pre-wedding. Sometimes they want to do it down at the beach for sunset drinks. Then the wedding day at the venue, and then a pool party barbecue on the last day. Because to get, you know, weddings they're expensive trips. You know, people come out, their flights, hotels, presents, outfits. They'll easily spend £1,000, you know, pounds or so on each wedding. And,
I feel sorry for now. I mean, I traveled all over the world when I was, you know, young, and I didn't really go to my friends' weddings because I was in Australia, or I was in, you know, wherever. So getting back was really difficult. But you know, the travel involved, lifting all these people to come across is huge.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the logistics.
Yeah.
And you know, I said I have first-hand experience because you know, although my daughter Alex, she herself is an event, so she knew a little bit about what to do and what to expect, and probably was a hard taskmaster, I'm sure.
It was great. It was teamwork. Definitely teamwork. Yeah.
But it's a fuzzy thing for me, you know. It really is.
Yeah. I think that's where the production background comes in good use, because we used to have to ferry 100 people crews everywhere and things like that all over Spain, and so and work out their hotels and where they were going to eat and so forth. And it's very much like that, but on a much smaller time frame, and with a lot more independent people. So we often book their hotels for them. So we have great relationships with the hotels in Sotogrande for that, and in Marbella, because, you know, we try to get at least 50% of the guests staying in one hotel, because it's easier to pick them up from one place. And then a lot of people do Airbnbs as well, because they like to spend maybe a week's holiday here, bring the family, even though they don't come to the wedding, things like that. And so it's a great trip for them to kind of combine holiday and wedding at the same time, if they can. I suppose
most of them do. You know, they sort of make it a Wednesday to Wednesday thing.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah, bank holidays tend to get booked up really far in advance, not just by the teachers, but also by people who want to make it
clearly
a long event.
You mentioned the difference between Marbella and Estepona, and here being a little bit more relaxed, more laissez-faire, and Marbella maybe more blingy. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you have more blingy type weddings over there with.
We do. We have quite a good mix, I would say, but a lot of people are attracted to the blingtastic nature of Marbella. I mean, Marbella is sort of, it's got that lovely mix of old school glam from the 80s and 90s, mixed in with, I'm not sure what we'd call what's happening now. There are a lot of beach bars, a lot of supper clubs, very good restaurants and things like that.
In my day, we call them yuppies.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. And I think there's such a huge, since COVID, a lot of international families and couples moved there because they realized that they could work from there and be near an airport and so forth. So it definitely blossomed after COVID. And I think Sotogrande has received a bit of the offshoot of that, certainly because of the school being so popular.
Yeah.
I think it's, I mean, you know, being in the business you're in.
Absolutely. You could be writing my report. I mean, you're absolutely right. It's perfectly exactly right. The couples that you are principally British, or do you have a bit of everything from all over Europe? I mean,
I'd
Swiss
say there's a bit of everything.
Yeah?
It kind of goes twists and roundabouts, and so we have primarily English and Irish. The Irish love Spain because also they can get married in the church here, and it's easy compared to Portugal, Italy, Greece.
They can't.
They need to go to do a civil. It's not as easy. So here, the church ceremony is the same. It's the same act as the civil.
Yeah.
We basically do one ceremony. We then take that certificate to the registry office, and they issue a marriage certificate, and that's it. It's all done. Okay. Whereas in the other countries, you have to go to a registry office first or after to do it. Yeah. And so there. I think Irish love this place. Then you've got a lot of Scandinavians who moved here in the last few years, and a lot of Russians. So there's a Russian wedding planner in Marbella. There's a Swedish wedding planner. There's a Dutch wedding planner. It's like they've all got their niche market, but we tend to do everybody. Yeah. Americans are starting to come over a lot more because Malaga Airport has opened up to them. So
but that's a long way to come and get married and have a party. I mean, a big...
Italy is still number one for Americans. They love Italy to do their weddings there.
Because of the romantic films of the...
and a lot of them have heritage there.
Yeah,
so
of course.
They like that. But it's very different to the States, you know, the style of wedding and everything. And then Spain is becoming increasingly popular. Sevilla is taking off for the American market, which is fantastic. It's because whilst they are, they have very high standards, they also have very good budgets.
Yeah.
So it's a good one. I don't know if you have lots more American clients coming over.
We have more. I wouldn't say lots more, but then we're not a huge place sort of around. I know that there are a lot of Americans coming, and they are featuring very high in those who are buying. Now, they're Americans and Americans. I mean, they all have American passports, but they may have been ex-Venezuelans, ex-Colombians, ex-Argentinians who've been to Florida because that's where they wanted to get out of, where they went to. And then now they're coming over here because of the current political situation mostly. It's just not the way it used to be. And then the immigration things and all that business that's going on in America. And they end up in Madrid. A lot of them, because they're called Garcia Martinez and Pedro, so they have the Spanish heritage.
Of course.
Probably can get a Spanish passport quite easily, nationality. And then they started saying, well, where do the wealthy people go on holiday? They go to the Costa. So then they start coming down to the Costa. But I'm told, I haven't been, but if you go to Madrid and walk down Serrano, you're hearing Mexican accents, you're hearing Argentinian accents more than Spanish accents almost. Okay. So it's that pull. But we have had... good old Americans from the Midwest. So you've got to get out of this place, and but first I have to sell my 10 million euro dollar house
Yes,
to buy
exactly.
something over here. So,
Yeah.
but it's definitely going on.
It's picking up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting one. Sotogrande was founded by a large
right.
American contingent, wasn't
But he
it?
had a Spanish connection as well.
He did, yeah.
With Mr. Zubels. So from all over the place. What about Poles? Because they are the ones that are really growing in, the Poles are coming fast.
Yeah.
I think and all along the coast. I'm not just saying here in Sotogrande, but the Polish economy is doing so well.
It is.
They're always looking over their shoulder, sadly, because of what's happening with Mr. Putin.
Yes.
But it's doing very well.
I think that's part of why they're coming here as well, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's safer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a Polish wedding next October. We did our first Polish wedding in 2019 in Tarifa, actually. And I'd say on average, inquiry-wise, we probably get about 10 inquiries from Polish couples a year. Okay. So I expect that will grow, but their style of wedding is very, very low key. It's not like a bling-tastic style of wedding. They tend to do, getting married is more sort of like part of just going to do that, and it's not like a big celebration.
Remember the Deer Hunter?
Yeah.
That was a Polish wedding.
Yes, that's
Half
true.
the film was a wedding.
Yeah.
And everything.
Not quite like that, no. They celebrate, but it's not like as detailed and over the top as some of the other weddings can be. Yeah, so I think Instagram.
So who are the most detailed? Who are the most
into all the details?
Probably the British.
I'd say the British, yeah, and the Irish. The Irish, I mean, Irish really know their stuff regarding food, everything to do with sort of the hotel and restaurant business. They really know in depth what's good, what's not, what you can serve, what you can't serve, what's on trend and all of that stuff. So they love Instagram, and they're always trying to find the latest thing or something new that nobody else has seen and so forth.
I mean, to be fair, we're talking about people who can afford to come to another country to bring out. But
it's actually a bit of a budget as well, because if they got married in Ireland, instead of 150 guests, they would probably have 300 guests because they'd have all their cousins coming and aunts and uncles that won't necessarily travel to a Spanish wedding. And so it's a little way of kind of cutting out the...
But I think the 2 extra days of beginning that.
They creep up. Certainly if they want a beach bar, the ones in Marbella, they'll ask for exclusivity.
Oh wow!
And then you're looking at a day's spend exclusivity. So it's like another wedding venue.
Yeah. What does a wedding cost on average?
That's the most popular question that I can't answer.
I know. Well,
how long is a piece of string?
150 people, let's say.
It really depends on their style. So
it can be as much as.
It can run from about 90,000 on average for 150 guests, and it can go up to, the sky's the limit kind of thing. Some of the weddings that have happened this year in Marbella that have happened at, say, Finca Cortijo and Marbella Club have had huge budgets, and Villa Padiena as well.
But those are mostly Spanish, aren't they?
No.
No?
No. They are mainly Americans, Eastern European, and Arabs. Yeah.
Oh, you must be touching 500,000. I mean,
or more.
Or more,
Yeah, and the Indians are coming in strong now as well, and they have good budgets. So,
and
theirs are 3 days.
3 days, proper 3 days.
And it's normally 250 guests. Yeah. So they have all their wonderful, cultural things that we have to include in the 3 days. Yeah. I remember the first Indian wedding I did, I think it was like 2014 or something like that. With all the things, and it was at Villa Padiena, and I was in the garden with the priest looking for a coconut because he hadn't thought to ask for the coconut in advance. So we're there in the gardens of Villa Padiena just in case there's some sort of cocoa palm in the garden. Of course, there wasn't. And digging up soil and all sorts of random things that we needed for the ceremony. It was amazing. I mean, that's the part I love about my job, is finding all these extraordinary customs that
Well, I
have
was just
to come
about to
in.
ask you about personalization or multicultural elements or style direction. You know, there must be, you have to fit it in because, you know,
And it changes depending on the nationality as well. So, for example, Jewish weddings, they're different. Obviously, there's the two types of Jewish people, but then the French Jewish community are a lot more, they're a lot stricter about how things need to be carried out. So,
I mean, more orthodox.
yes, but not as orthodox as the Orthodox Jews. It's more just that it has to be 3 days, you know, whereas the Brits will come over and they'll just do the wedding day, sort of thing. So that's that sort of differences there. And then in the Indian weddings, obviously, whether they're Sikhs or Hindi, that will change the style of wedding. The Sikhs are a lot more sort of low-key, stricter as well, whereas the Hindis are much more about celebrating. So it's fascinating when you. And then I did. The religion has gone out of my brain now. I've only done one in my career, and I want to say it's. Yeah, it'll come back to me. And it was amazing. So nobody was allowed to wear black. The ceremony was in a circle. So all the guests were sat in a circle with the couple in the middle. And no alcohol was served, which was remarkable because they danced and celebrated like they had all drunk a lot of alcohol. And it was amazing. I mean, it's stuck in my mind forever, that one, because it was so unique to all the other weddings that we do. So I love it. And then personalization, well, that's what we do. We try to make it as personal to each couple. So we're always trying to work out how to bring their personalities into the wedding. You know, I've got a request from a couple for next year where he loves Lego. And so the seating plan is going to be made from Lego. Now, this is going to be a small work of
I mean,
a small miracle.
There'll be like a.
Well, I did one years ago, funnily enough, for a wedding, but it was just a small board with the tables with the people sat on it. He wants a big wall with Lego people and sort of like houses.
Granny's there and grandpa's there.
Yeah,
and all
exactly.
the
So
tables
it's going to be, and transporting it's going to be interesting because I said, can we just super glue everything on? And he was like, well, I'd like people to take their Lego man home with them. I was like, oh, goodness, okay. It's going to be fun. So
he's shipping out the Lego, you're going to have to put it together?
No, we're going to have to source all of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to become an expert on Lego.
You should recruit some kids, you know, they're probably going to be able to teach you how to do it.
I know. But yeah, it's fun because you get to do interesting bits like that. It's not same old, you know, same old day in, day out. It's always different.
Isn't that, I mean, the things that you hear about. So you personalize a lot, different cultures. Yes. You've done just about everything from what you're telling me.
Well, I'm always being surprised, which is nice.
Yeah.
Why not? There's always something new that comes along, and long may it continue, because I love the fact that it's a varied job. Yeah.
When you look at the suppliers, and let's concentrate on Sotogrande, local suppliers. I mean, you need venues. You need perhaps additional chairs and tables. You need flowers. You need. I'm thinking of the obvious, and you can rattle them off, I'm sure.
Well, you're an expert on this now.
You know, food. You know, if you want to make it local, you want, like, you know, maybe some flamenco dancers or the horse dancing business. You know, that goes on. Every wedding, Spanish wedding I've been to here, there is that. Yeah. You know, what else is there? That you know, what would be, if I was your client, you'd be saying to me,
where would we start? The key to a good wedding is in the food and entertainment. So if there's good food, enough to drink, and great entertainment, that's it. Everyone is off and flying, basically, because they are already predisposed to have a great time. They're there for your wedding day. They want to have a great time. So that's already there. Now then, if it were that simple, then everybody would do it, but it's not. You then need to make sure that you get a photographer that the couple is going to love their photos forever. They're going to look back every anniversary or whenever they find the box of photos, and they're going to say, oh, still love those photos. You don't want them to sort of get them a year later and think, oh, don't like them.
Yeah.
Videographer is very popular now. All of these kind of suppliers are in the area. They're either in Sotogrande or they're in Marbella or in Malaga. So they all travel an hour to a wedding kind of thing. And then you have all the sort of pretty stuff like the flowers, the lighting, the dance floor, the stationery. The seating plan has become a real feature now because people can take pictures in front of it and things like that. People are going to sit at a table for 2.5 hours, so let's make it nice. Let's make it interesting, And then there are all the other little but very important suppliers, like the person who's going to marry you. If you're not going to do it in a church, you need a celebrant, and the celebrant needs to be exactly right for you.
And briefed.
They need to get the names right and things like that. So you need to make sure they're good at their job. It's very popular for friends or family to do the marrying part nowadays. I think because people just love the personalized element of it. That if it's a friend or an uncle, they're going to bring out, really lovely notes to the ceremony. The sort of negative of that is that they may not know to get out of the way when you kiss for the photos. So there they are in the middle of the photos. Or they might say the vows into the microphone and then give them. So
it's all wrong.
You're marrying the celebrant, not each other. Stuff like that, which is why you need a professional. And then there are so many bands and musicians here. So it's trying to find the right one, but it is.
And that's what you mean by entertainment.
It's the singer or the string duo in the ceremony. Maybe you have Spanish guitar in the cocktail hour. During dinner we don't tend to have much, but then after dinner you want to get everybody up and moving, so you need something like a band to a high energy. Then you have the DJ for the rest of the night because the band won't do 6 hours.
Of course not.
And so you've got to pick all of those elements. But we have had a lot of bands coming from UK and France because the standard is higher. So I'm still hoping that we're going to develop some really good bands in southern Spain
that could sing in English properly.
Yes, exactly.
Not just the
it's
Spanish.
It's not.
I understand what you mean.
The heavily accent.
When you talk about entertainment, I thought you meant the father of the bride's speech.
Oh no, that was very good though.
You do need that. That's can be entertainment as well.
Speeches are important. Yeah, I love speeches.
But in Spain, they don't do speeches.
No, they don't.
The Spanish,
they do a brindis and that's it.
Yeah,
which I think is a shame.
I know. I think they miss out on it all.
Yeah, and being able to stitch each other up as well and things like that.
And all that. It's sort of done.
I get to know my couples probably better in the speeches than I do in a year of planning beforehand, because obviously everything they give me is quite diplomatic, whereas their best friends don't hold back.
Totally honest. Well, I tell you. But I mean, any father, I'm sure, the knees are rattling away, and when they stand up and
you're the first to go in as well.
Usually, yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's nerve-wracking. You set the tone for the rest of the dinner.
Yeah, well, I did that. I think I didn't trip over too much.
You did well. I remember your speeches that night being quite entertaining, but yours was a good one.
Yeah. I know, the entertainment came afterwards, the lads. A little bit over the top. Yeah. Outdoor versus indoor. I mean, we are in the sun, and
so
July, August must be, as I know, quite hot.
Yeah, well, we got those lovely sails for Alexandra. So it's very hard to get foreigners indoors when they've come to Spain to get married, and they want to get married at 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you have people fainting during the ceremony because they're in suits. It's a difficult one. So we have to look at shading, obviously. I try to push them to go later, but there is a difficulty in that more and more venues are having late night music restrictions put in place. So being outside, dancing outside under the stars is not so possible anymore. Only in venues that are further out and not bothering anybody.
Yeah.
So it is getting tougher in terms of that. A lot of venues have built in the last kind of year indoor rooms that people can then move into at midnight when they have to bring the music inside, or at 11 p.m. And I know it's not the same as being outside dancing all night long in the summer sort of nights, but it is a better option than having to do the whole thing inside. So yeah, I'm always going to be a fan of the outdoors wedding.
Yeah.
But we do sometimes have rain, and it is good to have a plan B, whether it's a tent or an indoor room that we can move into. Where Alexandra got married, obviously we had that luxury, so we didn't need it. But
that was
but
for noise more than anything.
Yes, that was the noise.
Yeah. What are the big mistakes that some couples make?
Underestimating budget. I still get inquiries now saying, can I do 100 people wedding for 15,000 euros? Which is, I still know wedding planners that say it's possible when obviously it isn't. So that happens. I think another big mistake is probably putting too much importance into the things that aren't important on the day. You know, they feel that certain things are very important to the guests, and actually it's their wedding day. They should just enjoy it for themselves. So I think that's something. Remember, you're getting married, not your parents, not your friends, nobody else. It's your day, and whilst of course you want everybody to enjoy your wedding day, half of it will be that if you're enjoying it, they'll be enjoying it. So yeah, and then. What's another possible problem that arises? I think, I think it's also, and I say this lightly, but they'll come in thinking the same number of people are going to come to their wedding abroad that are going to come to their wedding in UK or Ireland, and so they're like 180 people are going to come to our wedding, but obviously
100 turn up.
100 will turn up, you know, and I think it's important to just be open-minded about that
And monitor it as well, because you know
don't book a venue that's huge when you're going to be small, but don't book a venue that's small when you might invite double the amount of guests and not fit in. And then lose your deposit, which is obviously not good.
No, not good at all.
Yeah.
Thinking of, if someone came to you and said, what sort of timeline do you need for a good wedding? Is it like 12 months, ideally, or?
Yeah, ideally it's 12 months. We have a strange phenomenon happening at the moment in the wedding industry that we are booking 2027 at a speed that is insane.
Why?
When 2026 isn't fully booked. And I don't know what it is, is there a World Cup happening next year and half the men don't want to get married, or what is it that's going on in 2026? Because or maybe it's just that people want to save up for their wedding, and so they're trying to plot it in, but we were getting inquiries for 2027, the end of 2024, and we were like, no, we don't open the calendar until October of next year for that year, because what if your venue sells or something like this? And so I know a lot of people did accept those inquiries, and we now have a bit of a shortfall on suppliers that are available.
But that's 4 years in advance.
Yeah.
If you know you're going to get married, why are you waiting 4 years?
Yeah, it's mad. I mean, how, like we know from COVID that you can't guarantee that everything's going to be okay. It's, things can happen, and whilst I doubt there's going to be another COVID, but there could be something else that upsets the apple cart and stops everything. So I think because you're paying 50% deposit on your venue that far in advance, that's a large chunk of money that is
and will
going
that change
out there.
with inflation or something? Or
No,
is that guaranteed?
the contract is set, the price is set, and I think that's part of the reason why they're doing it. They know inflation is growing quite quickly.
Yeah.
So things like catering will go up, but venues, hairdressers, photographers, their prices are set. So that's happening really quickly. And then I think realistically 12 months is the perfect amount of time, because you can change your mind far too much otherwise.
Exactly. You see something, new film, I want to do it like that now, or something else.
Yeah.
And also getting your guests organized. If you say, I'm getting married in 27, can you book your flights now? I mean, you can't.
Yeah, and you might not like everybody in 2 years' time.
Yes, exactly. We invited them. Oh my God, how can we get out of it?
Exactly.
Oh no. Does the into legalities and admin, we talked about a little bit about, you get married here, you can just have a celebrant, or you can go the religious way and have a Catholic, presumably, church. Is there a Protestant or
no?
A Church
It's
of
a
England?
common myth that people think that they can just get a notary or a mayor to come out and marry them when they don't live here. You have to have been a resident in Spain for a minimum of 6 months to be able to get legally married.
Yeah.
So obviously the quick fix is Gibraltar.
Yeah.
But what we tend to recommend, if they don't want to do the Gibraltar route, like e.g. if they don't want to fly over that soon, is we say get married 3 months beforehand in the registry office back home. Either invite the people who can't come to your wedding day, like grannies or people like that who can't travel, and make it a smaller wedding day for them, or just make it a paperwork thing where you walk in with your witnesses and you sign some papers and you don't feel like you're married, kind of thing, until the actual wedding day. Yeah,
till the headache the next day, except for that group that didn't drink at all.
No, exactly. They were fine.
If someone lives abroad and wants to marry here, what do they need to know? What are the critical things you need to make sure that they understand?
So they need to, I would say, visit the venues before making a decision, and visit the venue with this is me plugging myself here, but it is true, with a wedding planner. Because if you go see a venue with somebody who works for the venue, they're not going to tell you what's wrong with the venue. They're not going to tell you what you can't do. They're
not
just going to tell
necessarily
you everything.
Wrong, but doesn't fit what you want to do.
No, exactly. Sorry. Yes.
I want a pool party. I want a swimming pool.
Exactly. Exactly. And so I think it's step one, fish around for wedding planners. You don't necessarily need to book your wedding planner when you're looking for venues. In my case, I don't book the couple in until we found them a venue, because without the venue, what use am I? So I will go and I'll do the venue search with them and so forth. And then once they've booked their venue, book the planning in. You need to know that prices will go up, that the prices that you're being given a year or two in advance for what your dance floor is going to cost is the price that was that year.
Yeah.
We have no idea what it's going to be in 2 years' time. We don't know what trends are going to be around in 2 years' time and what their cost is going to be. So whilst you go in thinking, right, I have 90,000 for my wedding, or 50,000 is a very common budget for a smaller number. 50,000 for my wedding. Well, yes, if we do your wedding right now, I can guarantee that's how much it's going to cost. But you might decide in a year's time, oh, I've seen this amazing thing on Instagram. What will it cost me to have that? And I have to have it. Well, it's another 3,000 on your budget. There you go. There's 3,000 plus tax gone, things like that. So yeah, they have to, I would always say add another, everybody says it's 12.5%. I don't know where the figure came from, but it's like have 12.5% in your pocket on top of your budget for contingency.
Okay.
That seems to be something that's been plucked out by the
12.5%.
yes. And be open-minded about what's going to be valuable. So sometimes people will say to me, "Oh, we really want this," and I'm like, "Okay, so that particular element is going to take up 20 minutes of your day, and it's equivalent to 4 hours of open bar for 100 people. What's more important?"
Right.
And so it's just being...
Yeah, there must be some very tricky formulas that you understand that the layperson would not understand in terms of, ordering a certain amount of wine or bringing the wine to the venue and buy it yourself. That sort of thing.
That's happened. I mean, there are caterers who offer that service where it's like buy your own, bring it in. But the caterers aren't going to go and pick up the wine and put it in fridges for you at a venue that is in a driveway. The kitchen's in a driveway. You have to think that you're going to have to do that. And after the wedding, when you have all these half-open bottles of wine, what are you going to do with them? Because it's your responsibility to then take them, or because the wholesale company will only buy back what isn't opened, things like that. So there are lots of little elements. It is possible, but you're going to have to do the work to get it. It's not free kind of thing. And I think with weddings, I admire couples that come in and do their own wedding without a planner. I think they're amazing and brave. And I think they are probably giving themselves a lot of stress on their wedding day that they don't necessarily need to, just to be able to say that they've done their own wedding kind of thing.
You must have a lot of anecdotal stories, which you probably can't.
I'll write the book one day.
You write the book one day, okay.
And change my name.
The one that always worries me is that, whenever you see these films and there's always some sort of friction and it could be the cousin and somebody else or someone that fell out and then suddenly together again, and you end up with...
I was asked to bring in an ambassador for parents once.
Oh, really?
And I wasn't sure what it meant at first.
An ambassador,
somebody to do diplomatic relations between the mother and the father, yes, because they couldn't be in the same venue together. Yeah.
Gosh.
And I was like, well, what will the job entail? And they said, well, them not punching each other. So it was, there's been stuff like that over the years that...
I mean, late at night you can get rowdy and the boys get silly and all that, but that you've gone home by then probably.
No, I stay till the end. We're a bit rare in that, but I like to. I guess I'm a control freak. I like to make sure.
You want to come back to the same venue and then we kick you out altogether.
I want to make sure that everybody's okay and that they get home safely and nobody's complaining that they couldn't get home the next day, sort of thing, or that somebody fell over and broke something. After COVID, we rang a lot more ambulances than we had ever phoned before. In 2022, we rang 1,000% more ambulances than we had
for
drunkenness.
People just letting go.
Yeah. It was like the world is going to end tomorrow, therefore we have to live for the moment.
And catch up what we didn't do.
Yeah. It was scary sometimes because you'd wonder what was going to happen. You could feel the build-up coming, and you would be like, "Gosh, are they going to get angry with us? Are they going to get angry with each other, or are they just going to do really stupid things?" So the ambulance drivers and I were on first name basis by the end of 2022.
It's not like a polo match. We have an ambulance on the
yes,
on the
exactly. I did start to feel like I just needed to have one all the time. Yeah.
And what about older people? Getting over emotional or hot and
there are elements of that.
Must have that.
You become I think very adept at dealing with different people.
Understand, in your little black book of telephone telephone numbers, the ambulance is one. A doctor on call must be there.
Yes, exactly. The bomberos and all the rest of it.
If you have a power cut, you must have a generator somewhere. Possibly.
We often have to have generators for villas and fincas because they just
haven't got the power enough.
Got the power. Yeah. So that means we have to have a generator and a backup generator, because if the generator dies, we're stuck. So we have a great generator company that brings two in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's all very interesting. Just before we go, what would be the 2-3 pro tips you would give a couple? I think you mentioned, what goes wrong, but do it in advance is one of them.
Yes. Obviously, hire a wedding planner.
Hire a wedding planner. Yes, absolutely.
Secondly, I would say don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
It's people will have fun.
Yeah.
So don't try not to get. You will get stressed, but try not to get stressed. And then I would say another element is that you need to have a very clear line of communication with each other. Yeah. It's between you two. Yeah. It's not yours and your best friend's wedding. It's you two. So have a coming back to each other on every point, and support each other. Right.
Best month for ceremony here?
2 actually, June and September.
Before and after the heat?
Yes. June is beautiful because the flowers are out.
Yeah.
September, it's normally not quite dry by then. Yeah. But September has that lovely sort of going into autumn, cooling kind of element, whereas the end of June can still be quite hot. And the days are very long in June. It doesn't get dark till 10 o'clock. So all these ideas of fairy lights and candles at dinner, you can't see them.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tara, is there anything that you wished I'd asked you that I haven't?
I don't know. What would be my favorite venue on the coast?
What would be your favorite venue on the coast?
I don't have one. Or maybe I do, but I can't say. I love a venue in Estepona called, can I name names?
Of course.
Called Cortijo San Francisco, which was built by Hollywood actor Stuart Granger.
Stuart Granger.
Yeah, back in the 60s. And it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. He brought a load of really authentic tiles in, and it's a gorgeous venue, and you can party all night long there. Another one that I love is Las Sirenas here in San Enrique.
Oh, at the back there.
Yeah, because it's just an amazing looking place. You walk in there and you're like, where am I? Italy or?
I know. I mean, I had that place for sale.
Did you?
Yeah.
I think
it may have even changed hands without me knowing.
Yeah, but, it's owned by a big company. And
Polish.
Yes,
that's
no,
right. They didn't sell it.
Yeah.
No.
And they manage it. But so that's a beautiful venue. Jamie Lang and Sophie Habu got married there because her family are here in Marbella and Soto. I'd say those two. And then there's an old favorite in Marbella, which is Finca la Concepción, which is a stunning place. And then Finca Monasterio, where Alexandra, it's so popular.
I know.
I mean, it's unreal. We have to book 2 years in advance to get in there. Yeah.
No, I think the ideal thing there was that you had, I think, 30 bedrooms.
Yes, you have everyone on site.
You get certainly the immediate family can be there and camp there for the 3
You
days.
really feel it when you're walking around on the wedding day getting things ready. You can hear all the conversations, people trying to figure out how they know each other. And it's lovely. It's a nice feel to it. Yeah.
Right.
So a few.
Well, there you are. You have 3. You mentioned 3 or 4. I'm not sure, but well done. Very good.
I probably get into trouble for the ones I didn't mention now.
No. I'm sure they won't. Tara, thank you very much indeed. So there you go, everyone. Tara Chapman, We Do Weddings. For anyone who wants to contact her. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me, Charlie.
Pleasure.